I bet you, after learning about these 20 Claude Code tricks, you will be the pro user of Claude Code with minimum context window. That means saving the token, saving the money on Claude Code, as well as having high level of vibe coding. I'm damn sure. And the last one, which is called hooks, is the most powerful feature of this Claude Code. But let's see what other Claude Code tricks I have included. So we are going to see like how we can initialize the Claude Code, then how we can talk with the Claude Code using the Claude Code task, with the P flag, what this is going to do, the R flag called resume, the continue, how we can continue the previous conversation. Then we will move to the Claude Code commit PR, that means working with the Git and version control. Then how we can add a new line. This is really a pain when you start with the Claude Code. Then how we can create the custom command. You can tag a file, that means adding an argument on that. You can connect to the IDE like VS Code or Cursor. But if you're stuck somewhere, Claude Code is not able to solve your problem, you can add the ultra think mode, which is going to solve your problem by having more thinking ability. But this is going to eat up your token, that means the money, so be cautious. But after that, we will see how we can add the parallel sessions of the Claude Code to work on different issues at the same time. We can also see how we can add the MCP server to Claude Code to have more power, more tool available for the Claude Code. And working with image is again a pain, but not anymore, because I'm going to give you the real tricks of how to add directly images on your terminal, how you can tag a file or folder, memory management so that it will remember what rules you have set for the Claude Code. And finally, we will going to have the hooks integration. I told you the most powerful feature, and fetch information from web, reading the latest doc, searching the web, and reading more information about your project. All of these things will be on this video. So without wasting time, let's get started. Yesterday my team was saying to me that, hey, Sarthak, this Claude Code video is going to eat up a lot of time because we need to explore different tricks, we need to structure it, we need to have all collaborated and have in one video, we need to create the slides, we need to create a lot of things. And if this video is not going to perform well, that's a heartbreaker. And I said, don't worry, this is not about how many views I get. This is all about how much value I provide. But you need to do one thing for me. Just hit subscribe button, because all the hard work is happening for you so that you get real value of this video. Because if you're spending 30 minutes, 40 minutes on a single video from the starting till the end, you must get real knowledge that will change your life, that will make you a professional person and shine out of the mob. For that, you need to encourage me also. Just hit subscribe button, and if you want, if you like this video, then hit the like button. Nothing else I want. I just want to give you the best quality videos. To get started with Claude Code, you need to run this command and authenticate with Anthropic. Once you have it, then you can simply run the Claude. But the very first thing I do for any command line tool is getting the help. This will give you the list of the command available for you to run. We have a lot of amazing things, but the very first thing I want to do is running an inline prompt. So Claude and whatever your prompt is, I run it. This will take the input as this prompt and running the Claude Code here. So this is a nice interface where whatever happening, it is showing, it is having a lot of amazing things, how many tokens you have used, and we can write another prompt in this box. Okay, once this is done, and we can ask something else like, how are you? That's great, but what happened is sometimes you don't want to do a chain of prompting. You just want to do one prompt and that's it. I don't want to have the Claude interface. It's just one question. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the P command. This P command is really helpful, which says that run this, whatever output is, print that output, and do not initiate the Claude interface. Very soon you will see the output printed here, but it will exit it from the Claude. You can see the temperature is here and we are on the terminal back. But let's say you want to continue with the previous one. So we just need to say Claude, and then we just have the continue, which is going to start the previous session we had, and we can simply ask um, where this city is located. And since it know the context and the thing we are working on, it is easy to know that we are talking about the Indore city. But what if I want to resume any previous conversation, let's say a day before or 2 days before, then I just need to say Claude hyphen resume, or I can simply say -r. This is going to give me the list of the session I previously had. So I can choose from these all of these one, and now it says the Next.js project setup and Claude Code. Let's say I will go to the ninth one and start this session, and whatever I had on that is here. This is really useful for different projects. Let's say you are working on 4 different project and you have 4 different session on every project, and you want to switch between the sessions, then you can just see whatever the session we previously had and resume that from that particular point. Now, how do we get started with any project? If I want to use the Claude in a project, I need to do very first thing, which is the init. So I just go inside the Claude interactive session is here. Now I just say slash and init. This is a inbuilt command of the Claude, which is going to initialize the Claude MD file by viewing, understanding your code base. I'm on a Next.js project, and this is going to first read all the project and then create the MD file, and we will see what it will include in the MD file. Now, Claude Code is going to ask whether it can create the Claude MD file or not. You can just say yes, and you need to say yes for every time Claude want to create the file, but instead you say yes, and I don't want to ask again for this session, or just press Shift and Tab. Now our Claude MD file is here, so let's see what it include. It actually include the file provide the guidance for the Claude Code. It is having the command, the architecture, the files, the key files, dependency, and everything. As the project mature, this Claude MD file can be updated. You can just ask Claude Code to update it, or just do init once again. You can think about Claude Code as the cursor rule file you have for the cursor IDE. Now, since we have one file which is just created, what we need to do? We need to git commit it. But instead of doing it manually, we can ask Claude to do that. Yes, Claude can just interact with your git and do the commit, write the commit message, create the PR. Let's ask this Claude Code to do all of that thing. Hey, can you please do a commit with nice message and create new PR? And this is going to do all of these things. You just have to wait and watch. Now, just like previously, when Claude was asking to create the new file, now it's asking to run a bash command. And we can again say yes for only once, or yes and don't ask again for every other time. So I will choose the second option, and this is going to run the command for us. Okay, so this is asking for the git commit command, and let's do that also. And very soon everything will be done, and we should have a nice PR ready for our project. And it is saying git checkout to branch. This is going into the branch, and then git push to the branch, and now it says something. And you want to proceed with all of these things, add Claude for development guidance. This is the body, this is all of other things, the plans, and everything is there. And let's just go and hit yes. Now Claude come up with the summary. It says commit was there, but since there is no remote repository, it cannot create the pull request for us, and that's why the final step was not finished. The creating the PR manually, we need to do that. And finally, let's do some vibe coding. Here I have a default Next.js page. I'm going to ask Claude to create a simple yet powerful modern design to upload a video file up to 4 GB of limit. Remove the Next.js default styling and code and replace it with the new one, and hit enter. It will going to involve some file to create, some to edit, and we will see what this is going to do and how we can have a trick which will allow everything to the Claude. Now again, this Claude Code is asking to run the command, and I'll say yes, but this is not good thing, because if you want to wipe code, it should do everything on its own. So you can see the style is not good. I don't like this interface at all. We will going to fix this, but before that we need to fix the thing, like it should not ask every time about the file change or running a command, everything. So I'm going to quit from the code, and I will say one really powerful yet a little dangerous thing, and that is called dangerously skip permissions. So bypass all the permission checks, recommended only for sandbox without internet. Although it says that, now if you're sure that whatever you are doing is not having any security impact, then you can simply run this. So I'm going to say Claude dangerously skip all the permissions. Now I'm here, and you can see this is given bypassing permissions. This is very important. But what if I want to say like shift tab and bypass permission is gone, shift tab and bypass permission is on? And this is really amazing because sometimes you want to skip, sometimes you don't, and this is how you can switch between the bypass permission or having the prompt to do something every time. Now let's ask Claude Code to continue the previous one, and remember we know how to do that, so we just say continue, and here we are. And now we are going to ask Claude Code to fix this designing, and for that what I will do, I will take the screenshot, save this to desktop, and then I will drag it to the terminal. And sometime it doesn't work still. Oh, it worked. Your image 1 is there. So can you fix the design to be more modern and um, good looking? I don't know. So this is one way, but what happen is if you have a screenshot, you should directly drag it. So let's try that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a screenshot once again. Instead of saving this to desktop, I will try to drag it directly to my Claude Code, and here we are, it's directly added to the Claude Code. There is one more trick you can do. Instead of having the screenshot like this, you can just press Command Shift Control and 4, this is only for Mac, and then create the screenshot. This is on your clipboard, and then press Control V to add this image into the terminal. And once we have that, we can have the prompt for us, and we should start working on this. But remember, it's Control V, not the usual paste of Command V on the Mac. So it is completed. Now if I go and see, after all that thing, it just added some color. That's not good. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to again take the screenshot. I'll again go and drag the screenshot to the Claude Code, but this time I'll say think ultra deep. This is a keyword which is recommended by the Claude Code. Yes, this is recommended by Claude Code, that if you add the think ultra deep, not keep, in your prompt, then it will do a better job. Update the design and user experience. On this article by Anthropic, Claude Code, the best practice for agentic coding, you will find that we have this ultra think, not deep, but think, although same. So think hard, think harder, ultra think, all these things keyword, if you add, then it will going to perform much better than if you are not using it. But right now I'm getting some kind of error. Now one amazing thing which we can do with the Claude Code is we can just copy this error and directly paste here. And now instead of showing all the lines we just pasted, it just say 1 plus 22 lines are pasted. So if I just say solve this, and now it is going to have all the context we just copied and plus the prompt we added, like solve this. Claude Code has upgraded the design, and now it looks really awesome. I can click here and I can upload a video, and that is really amazing. But if I go here, you can see it says context low, 13% remaining, and run flash compact to compact and continue. Now what happening on this is, you can see we are doing this for long time. We have a lot of things happening here, and now Claude Code need to know what is happening on every prompt. That means it is sending all of the code to the Claude and then getting the next thing you want. This means it's eating up the token whenever the context become bigger, bigger and bigger. Now, this is a nice feature of Claude Code which says that if you run this compact, it clear out the conversation. So everything got cleared, but it will keep the summary in the context. So everything will be summarized in a short format, and then that short thing will be sent to the Claude Code whenever you have a long conversation. So I'm going to hit the compact, and this means now this is going to compact. That means creating the summary and clearing out the conversation. And you can see it says previous conversation compacted, and all of those things are compacted and everything is here. You can press Ctrl R to see the summary of what it has created with the point 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. You know what? You can take the Claude Code to your favorite IDE, whether it's VS Code, Cursor or anything else. So let's go to the Cursor, and here the first thing I need to do is open terminal, run Claude. And if I just run the Claude, then you can see it says welcome to Claude Code for Cursor. Without doing anything, it just recognizes that I am on the cursor and I can do a lot of things. What it means is if I just hit enter, it says IDE connected. So now if I see this, and whenever I open any file, so let's say I just open the Claude.md file. Now if I am on the Claude.md file, you can see it says in Claude.md file, and I can say please summarize this in brief. Okay, so this is going to summarize only this file because Claude Code know which file I'm talking about and where I am. So it's really nice brief, and this is cool. But what much cooler than this is I can select some section in the file, and now Claude Code understand that hey, you have selected 3 lines from the file you have just opened. This is really powerful. So just like you do something on the cursor, when you select, you press Command K, and to tell to do something, you can just do the same thing here on our Claude Code. So let's say I want to use this and convert this to a normal function. So I've selected it. Now say convert this to normal function, and this is going to convert this code or this function from a arrow function to a normal function. And you can see it's quick and fast, and we just allow it to edit, and this is how it has converted very quickly. The best thing I like about the Claude Code inside the IDE is you can tag a file and do something. So let's say try to refactor, and I'm going to say page.js file, and extract all functions into dedicated file so that the page.js only has the JSX. Okay, this is really powerful because now in the terminal, whenever I'm writing the prompt, I can easily tag a file for the context so that I have a better result. Okay, after the tagging thing, I want to introduce you with the memory. Although it has refactored the file, which is looking really awesome and have all the functions here inside this upload utils, but you can see this is arrow function, but this is a normal function and all other are arrow function. So we want to make it consistent, and we can tell to Claude that hey, always use the memory, and memory stored in the Claude.md file. So this is actually, I told you, just like the cursor rule. You can define your rules here, but you don't always want to open this file and edit it. So what you can do, you can just say hash sign, and now you can add some memory. I say always use the arrow function in JavaScript. Now this, if I hit enter, I need to first escape to end the previous process. It was just stuck, And if I hit enter, do you want this to be in the project level, or you want this to be just for the local, not for the production, or maybe if you're running this Claude Code on the GitHub action, or you want to make it for the user, that means globally available for every project. I want to make it right on the project memory. So if I hit enter, you can see it says always use arrow function, got it. But now if I open the Claude Code, you can see JavaScript best practices is added automatically, and it says always use the arrow function in JavaScript. This is always here, and now I can say tagging this upload file, no, not this one, I want the upload file, and make all function similar. Now at this moment I have not told like to use arrow function, to use a normal function. Let's see how it is going to perform, because we have added the memory in our Claude Code. So it should be converted to arrow function, and you can see there is no normal function. If I search for function keyword, that is obviously not available because it converted to the arrow function. This is the power of memory. Next, let me introduce you with the Claude command. We already saw that we have a lot of amazing commands here. So if you just hit slash, and you will find a lot of command. Add directory, it's going to create a new directory. Submit feedback about Claude Code. If you just want clear the conversation, so just like this, it's just going to clear the conversation. Compact we already saw. You can define the configuration, like which theme you want to use. So let's say I want to use the this theme looks better, and I just press escape to go back, and now I can have a lot of other command. But the good point is we can create our custom command also. For that, we need to run this command, which is just saying make directory called Claude commands. So inside this Claude, we should have the commands directory very soon, and inside that, inside the commands directory, I'm going to create a security review.md file, and this will have this like review code for security vulnerabilities. If I hit enter, you can see now we should have the command which is not available. What happened? Oops, not here. So because this is becoming the global one. So if I see here, if I just not cat, I just need to ls, and you can see now we have a security review. And now if I see the security review and I say cat for commands, security reviews, and yep, we have this. Now this means what we can do, we can go inside the Claude, and just like we use any other command, we simply say, oops, not that. We simply say security review, and this is going to review the security for the project we have. Now you can see it is running, but we created this command globally. We can also create the custom command for the project only. How we can create? We need to run this command, which is again echoing something on .claude commands and cleanup. So this will be here. So we need to create a new directory called commands, and once this is there, we can simply run this file, and we have it, cleanup.md, which is going to have use function method, unreachable code, use import dependency, like that. But you can see something crazy is here called arguments. Now when you have an argument, you can specify something for this command. What is that? Let's go to Claude once more, and this time if I say cleanup, like I do the cleanup like this, it is going to do all the cleanup for our project. But I can say cleanup for page.js only. So this is going to run for the page.js, and page.js will be treated as the argument. So analyze page.js and identify the dead code, something like that. So very soon we should see that we have a lot of things, maybe something dead code. I don't see any dead code. Maybe it will going to remove the use effect because this is doing nothing, but that's again depend upon the AI. Now let's say what I want is when I upload this video to this page, then I want to extract the audio from this. write on the browser using ffmpeg wasm, but I don't have any information about it. So what I do, ffmpeg wasm, let's do that search and we find it, or maybe we find the Netlify website is here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this and I now say like here is the docs for ffmpeg wasm, paste it, and now I want to move to the new line. How do I do that? If I enter, it will be submitted. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to press slash and then I hit enter. Or what I'm going to do, I'm going to just press shift and enter, 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 enter. You can see we have a slash. Now this is little different in the terminal, not on the IDE. On IDE, yes, it is working. On the terminal, if I say slash and enter, yes, it is working, but not the shift enter. See, shift enter actually submitted the prompt on this terminal, but not on the IDE. So this is really good difference. So make sure you have the shift enter only on the IDE. So this basically means it's now going to read the documentation, and I will say here's the doc for FFmpeg. Now implement the feature where after uploading the video, when user click on the audio button, it will have extracted the audio from the uploaded video and make it available for downloading. So this is now running. But what if I have the audio? Obviously it will be available. Then we want to extract the transcript of it using the OpenAI Whisper. Now I need to wait for this Claude Code session to complete. Instead, what I can do, I can just allow it. I can create a new session which will going to run parallelly for the same project. So I create a new terminal, I initialize the new Claude Code basically, and here I say create a utility file that called transcript, which uses the OpenAI Whisper model to transcript the audio and create the transcript, which is having a function where I pass the audio, get return the transcript. OpenAI key is on the .env. So while this is again doing the things, I'm creating another session running parallelly for this project doing the certain task for me. And this is going to be crazy because you can add up as many as number of session as you want. So let's say you have a 5 different bug and you want to solve them, you can solve 5 different bug on different session. If you have something which can clash, then you can create the Git version of this, which is called Git work tree. Now Git work tree works similar to this, which is going to create a new directory inside your project, work on it, and then merge it later on using the same Git history. Now, if we are on the Claude Anthropic world, without MCP, there is no way out. So we can search for MCP on this command list, and here we can see right now we don't have any MCP. Yes, we can add MCP on its natural way. You can visit this documentation to see how the MCP can be added to Claude Code. But the best part is if you have the Claude desktop, then you can import the setting from there. Right now I'm on the Claude desktop. I can see I have a MCP Docker, but it doesn't have any MCP server. So I can go to the Docker desktop, and here on the MCP toolkit, I can go to the catalog. I can search for, let's say, YouTube. I can add it. Now I have added it to the MCP toolkit of the Docker. Now I can go to the client, connect the Claude desktop, and very soon I will see that here we will going to have the YouTube MCP server. So Claude, again searching, and yep, you can see we have a get transcript. That means it is there for our Claude desktop. But what about the Claude Code? How we can get that? So if I go on the MCP, still it says nothing is there. First of all, on our Claude desktop, we can see the MCP server is not available. So what I can do, I can go to the Docker desktop. Here on the MCP toolkit, I can search for the YouTube transcript MCP server, which is added to the MCP toolkit. Now I want to add the MCP toolkit to the Claude desktop. I can go to the client, click on the connect because I already have downloaded the Claude desktop. That's why it's showing here. Now, if I restart the Claude desktop, by the way, not the Claude Code. So here, very soon we will see that MCP Docker will be here. So MCP Docker, which include one tool called Get Transcript, which is for the YouTube. Now, how do we add this to our own Claude Code? So I just need to say Claude MCP list, and now it says there is no MCP available. So MCP add, and now I need to say add from Claude desktop, and you can see now one is added. So again, I can check the list, and yes, there is one MCP server. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply run this prompt with a p tag so that it will going to use the MCP server for YouTube transcript and then give me the transcript directly without opening the Claude interface. Yes, you can see we do have it. Wow, that's super duper nice. Now we are at the final part of this video where we are going to have the most powerful thing of Claude Code, which is called hooks. Hooks is just like a hook for events happening on the code base. So let's again initialize the code, Claude Code, and then I'll say hooks. Now, hooks can be executed before anything changes, after anything changes, can give you the notification, user prompt submit or stop right before Claude conclude its responses. So we can do the post tool use. That means once the editing is done, then we can say, okay, update the doc file or maybe do something else. So it's up to you how you want to configure the hooks. It's a really powerful thing. Now, creating a new hook is a little overwhelming because if you go to the documentation, it says something like this, you need to do something, you need to create files. So what I'm going to do, since we are vibe coders, we can just ask Claude to do the thing. So create new hook, or I can call it Claude Code hook. To be precise, like it's a Claude Code hook, which will run on every file edit, or I can say after every file edit. So after every file edit, and update the readme file for the documentation. That's good. Now this is going to create the hook for itself, and let's see how this is going to perform. This is going to be really exciting thing. And finally, the complex hook is ready. You can see if I go on the Claude, there is a hooks and post edit.sh file. It has a lot of code which is going to update the readme according to the file changes, and this hook is registered on the settings.local.json. You can see hooks after edit and the path of the file to execute after every edit. Now that's incredible because it tried to change a little bit on the page.js, and you can see this readme file is updated according to that change, which is here. This readme was automatically updated by Claude Code hook. Wow, that's amazing. So this is how I have used the Claude Code at its max and extracting every piece and bit of the Claude Code, which makes Claude Code my next go-to vibe coding tool. It's not like I'm not using the cursor, I'm still using it, but along with the Claude Code, because this gives more power than the cursor. But if you combine cursor and Claude Code, magic happens at that moment. So let me know what's your view about the Claude Code, or if you have any magic trick about the Claude Code, let me know in the comment section and I will create a video on that also. If you have any request for any tool you want me to create video on, yes, comment section is open for you, and you can email me bitfumes@gmail.com and follow me on other social media platform for more amazing things. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.